Good evening. Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts.
The Mets became the first sports team to play in New York since the terrorist attacks. The Mets were trailing 2-1 in the bottom of the eighth when Mike Piazza came to the plate with a chance to put New York ahead.
Lopez wants it away.
And it's hit deep to left center. Andrew Jones on the run. This one has a chance. Home run! Mike Piazza, and the Mets lead 3-2.
Here are uniformed firefighters who probably lost friends, God forbid even family. And yet, because Mike Piazza hit a home run, that's something to actually smile about.
Katrina slams into the Gulf Coast.
Wind gusts up to 120 miles an hour.
Projectiles that can kill you. Stucco literally ripped off the side of this building.
Part of the roof covering the Superdome, where some 10,000 people had sought
this gas station, which is basically where we've sought safety, it is slowly being ripped apart before our eyes.
The former St. Morton Anderson is here for most field goals. Look out! Right through! A kick block by Steve Gleason. It is scooped and scored by Curtis DeLuce. Touchdown, New Orleans!
You could not script this any better than it just happened for the New Orleans Saints. Everybody thought that the wave of emotion would come in with the Saints, and for those people who look to the New Orleans Saints as something that will uplift them, uplift this city, uplift the entire Gulf region, they just had it.
And it's Tracy Porter taking it all the way.
Plenty of cities carry their sports teams through a tough season. It's a rare thing when a sports team carries a city through tough times.
A tragedy of monumental proportions. That's how the president of Virginia Tech described the horror that unfolded there. The deadliest mass shooting in American history. It's a tragedy, and at this hour without explanation. We know that a gunman opened fire, killing at least 31 people, and that the gunman is also dead. At least 20 others were wounded.
We will continue to invent the future through our blood and tears, through all this sadness. We are the Hokies. We will prevail. We will prevail. We will prevail. We are Virginia Tech.
Wow. I think all of us here feel that we are Virginia Tech today.
Listen, I've said it before. I don't know what a Hokie is, but God is one of them. God bless Virginia Tech.
The effort to sort through the massive disaster areas in northern Japan is just beginning. And take a look at this, an aerial of what around 24 hours ago was a town of 71,000 people, now completely underwater. No structure still standing. And Japanese media has just reported that authorities there have found 200 to 300 bodies on a beach in Sendai, the city near the epicenter of today's massive 8.9 magnitude quake. But that was just part of what has been a day of historic devastation for this American ally.
Here comes Japan, corner kick. Can they add even more drama to this match? Can they ever? And guess who's done it? The Marisawa, unbelievably, scores for Japan to make it 2-2. They have come back yet again. Kumagai for Japan. Hope Solo plays a little game with her. A prayer, I suspect, from Kumagai. And the World Cup for Japan! They have rewritten the history books in Germany.
At 2:50 p.m. today, there were simultaneous explosions that occurred along the route of the Boston Marathon near the finish line.
This jersey that we wear today, it doesn't say Red Sox, it says Boston. This is our city. And nobody gonna dictate our freedom. Stay strong. Thank you.
It hasn't happened at Fenway Park for 95 years. The Red Sox are world champions.
First of all, I want to say this is for you, Boston. You guys deserve it. We've been through a lot this year, and this is for all of you and all those families who struggle with that bombing early this year. It's for all of you.
3 hours of terror overnight, multiple shootouts, hostages, a packed nightclub under siege. By the time it was all over, at least 50 people dead, even more injured tonight.
And it is my belief, I know it's your belief as a club, that this sport can lift up a community and help to heal a community. And that's what we did on that Saturday following the Pulse tragedy.
They honored the 49 victims of the Pulse nightclub shooting at their home game just 6 days later. The teams wore special rainbow shirts as a symbol of unity. The crowd sang an emotional rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner, and the most moving of all, the game was stopped in the 49th minute to hold a moment of silence for the 49 victims.
We're here to commemorate and unveil the 49 rainbow seats that will sit permanently in Section 12 of our new stadium as a constant reminder of the senseless acts of June 12th.
Get straight to the breaking news. Harvey provoking an unfolding flooding disaster in America's fourth largest city, Houston, Texas.
This is all happening right now as we come on the air, and the situation is unfortunately dire.
Our worst fears, unfortunately, unfolding in the Houston area of the second punch of our 1-2 punch with Hurricane Harvey, now slamming southeast Texas with heavy rain and emergencies happening overnight with now over 1,000 rescues, as you mentioned, in and around the Houston area.
Traded over here because of the Sanchez success.
Here's a ground ball right side, could do it. The Houston Astros are world champions for the first time in franchise history.
Breaking news, you might say heartbreaking news. Police say that a shooter, believed to be just 19 years old, opened fire at his former high school.
At least 17 people are dead,
Making this one of the deadliest mass shootings in American history.
The fact that this is the 18th school shooting, and this is only February, is a testament to where this country has come and how far we need to dig out of this hole. We need to step out of it and take a look back and realize there's something seriously wrong here.
6 minutes and about 20 seconds. In a little over 6 minutes, 17 of our friends were taken from us, 15 were injured, and everyone, absolutely everyone, in the Douglas community was forever altered.
Sport became an afterthought until the team sat down for a meeting 3 days later.
The thing is, we talked about that you're kind of representing a little more than just ourselves and the team. It's the whole community.
With Stoneman Douglas up 3 in the championship game, the players couldn't help but reflect on the 17 victims.
I do believe they were there. I knew they were there. There was times where I just felt like we have 17 other players on our team right now. We're at a huge advantage.
This wasn't for us, this was for the 17 victims. We played for them. So passionate, so emotional, it's all for them.
I noticed that there were 17 of us, and there were 17 victims that died. So we went back to the school that day, and each of us put our medals on the memorials.
At least 58 people now dead, more than 500 people wounded in a horrific shooting on the Las Vegas Strip. It's the deadliest mass shooting in modern United States history. Police say he was armed with at least 10 rifles from that vantage point. Country music star Jason Aldean was playing for thousands of fans, 22,000 fans, just after 10 p.m. last night, Sunday night, when the gunman began unloading hundreds of rounds into the crowd.
The Vegas Golden Knights set to play their first regular season home game.
Really, in a lot of ways, the game didn't matter. The ceremony did.
To the families and friends of the victims, know that we'll do everything we can to help you and our city heal. We are Vegas strong.
It was a really cathartic experience for a lot of people in the building because they could express themselves in a happy way for the first time in a week.
This
had this effect of bonding the people of Las Vegas and these hockey players. The Golden Knights are Vegas's team.
Welcome to impossible! The Knights are in the Stanley Cup final!
I think this community and this hockey team will be united forever from that moment on.
Their names define a movement. Their deaths a rallying cry for justice. The killing of George Floyd has protesters demanding change, led by Black Lives Matter once again.
It's time for us to stand up in George's name and say, get your knee off our necks.
In 2016, the deaths of Alton Sterling and Philando Castile changed my life.
Every day, I'm being haunted as prey.
I remember feeling hurt and defeated, confused about what I wanted to do next. But history has shown us the impact that only a few voices can make. Guys like Tommy Smith and John Carlos, Muhammad Ali, Muhammad Abdul-Rauf, and Colin Kaepernick. And now it is time for all of us, athletes, coaches, and media, to do our part to make this country better.
In a remarkable development Wednesday, professional basketball, baseball, soccer games came to an unprecedented halt after Milwaukee Bucks players refused to take to the court for a playoff game against the Orlando Magic in support of Black Lives Matter.
This isn't just about basketball. We aren't just basketball players, and just because we are basketball players doesn't mean that's our only platform. We need to understand that when most of us go home, we still are black.
You don't feel like this is your opportunity to speak up and be active and use your platform, then you're missing it. You're missing the point. You're missing out on the opportunity to be on the right side of history.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything.